Happy Monday, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone is doing great. Put a one in the chat if you hear me okay. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Okay, April, thanks. So, again, happy Monday, everybody. Let me see who I have on here so far. So far, looks like I have Blue, Who Dat, Abril, Janice, Sharon Reed, Shadow, SBK, and Jamila. And I see El Cid has joined as well. El Cid says she's in the bushes. Okay, well, thank you for coming out of the bushes to say hello, El Cid. Thanks for joining. I hope everybody is having a great day so far, and I hope everybody had a great weekend. Many of you know that I wasn't feeling well over the weekend, but my son and his wife and kids came from out of town over the weekend, and I had to get myself together because I had to see my children and my grandchildren. And once we all went out, once I got out in that sun, I started to feel much better. And I'm feeling even better today. So those are my three youngest grandbabies, and I don't get to see them that much because, again, they live in another state. But that made my weekend, even though I wasn't feeling well for the most part. So, welcome. I said what I said, another one of my moderators, and welcome in Key. Did anybody do anything special over the weekend? Key says she had a great weekend. She finally watched the movie Straw. Don't tell me about it. I haven't watched it yet. I was supposed to watch it today. My husband, for some reason, he doesn't want to watch it. So I'm going to watch it by myself, maybe later on tonight. I'm sure you're at work, SBK. Thank you for the prayers. Okay, Blue. Good for you. Oh, you said April, not Alice. Okay. Yes, Key. That made my weekend. You can check out the links in the chat. Thanks to my moderators. I appreciate you all. I see Miss Boogie Down has joined. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining. How are you today? Okay, Miss Boogie Down. Don't work too hard, okay? Absolutely, who that. You want to make me feel better, just bring my grandbabies over to see me. Hey, Jackson Tabasco, welcome to the live. How are you today? Hey, Real. Thank you for joining. Another one of my moderators. How are you today, Real? Yes, anybody who's driving, please drive safely. You can listen, but no hands on devices. I'm just going through the chat to see, make sure I haven't missed anybody, y'all. Please be patient with me. um, that's a good topic. Patience. Oh, Blue, you leaving? Hey, Shay, thank you for joining. Another one of my moderators. So while I'm checking the chat, y'all can answer the question. Do you need to work on your patience? You can put a yes or no in the chat. Do you need to work on your patience? We got Shay who says absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely. I said what I said, says yes, I am very impatient. We have two honest people that are willing to say yes, they need to work on their patience. Will there be another? If you say sometimes, that means a yes. Janice says she's impatient as well. Anybody else want to answer? Anybody else want to answer the question? If you can, if you are able to. I know that some people are in the bushes, probably working or whatever, and you might not be able to answer the question. I need a couple more people to answer though. Meanwhile, make sure you've liked the live. I appreciate it. Let me get a couple more people to answer the question before I move on. Key says she needs to work on her patience. Who that says she's pretty patient? I believe you, who that. Jamila says she needs to work on her patience as well. So I'm not sure if everybody was here last Monday, but we had a discussion about listening to respond versus listening to understand. Justin Justin Tabasco says that She wasn't born with any patience. Oh, Shay, are you driving? Don't texting and driving. Be safe. So anyway, yeah, about a week ago, last Monday, we talked about listening to respond versus listening to understand. So while I was thinking about this subject, it made me think about patience. A lot of times we listen to respond because we're impatient. I think it was I said what I said that mentioned that she often wants person to get to the point so that she can respond. If the truth be told, many, if not most of us, do that at times. Patience is something that many of us tend to struggle with. Just look at the responses in the chat. If I ask someone to do something for me and they don't do it when I in a timely manner of what I consider a timely manner, oftentimes I'll just say forget it and do it myself. Although I've come a long way when it comes to patience, I realize daily that I still have a long way to go. Key says she has moments, but for the majority of the time, she's patient. Miss Boogie Down says, after having and raising kids, I have learned to curb my outbursts because it's not worth losing your life, job, friends, etc. So I don't react right away. So maybe you don't have the challenge of having a challenge with patience. Some of us have dealt with or still do deal with road rage. And if you are someone who deals with road rage, you definitely need to work on your patience. I believe that God places certain people in our lives to build on our patience. Many people have complimented me on my patience. I most definitely appreciate the compliments, but that doesn't make me forget that I still have a long way to go. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has watched a movie or television show and wish they get to the point. As a matter of fact, I'll switch the channel or turn the television off if they are taking entirely too long to get to the point. Patience is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Therefore, it is definitely important. This can be found in Galatians 5:22. Today's scripture verse comes from Romans 12:12. It says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulations, continuing instant in prayer. I suggest reading the entire chapter of Romans 12 when you get the chance. And I was reading from the King James Version. Verse 2 of this chapter reminds us to be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. It is the will of God that we are patient with others, just as He is patient with us. So, if patience is something you know you need to work on, keep working on it. None of us are perfect, and we never will be perfect. But when you recognize that there's something that you need to work on, the best thing that you can do for yourself, which could probably affect others, is work on improving that area. So if you need help in your patience, I suggest praying, and I suggest you asking God to guide you. And He'll probably send some people your way to build on your patience. So that is all I have to say on the subject of patience for now. I have the link pinned in the chat. If anyone wants to come up and say anything about the topic of patience, please feel free to hit that link and come up. Key says, well, I'm like that as well. I feel if you don't give an answer or do it for me at a certain time, you really don't want to do it. That's how I feel too, Key. Jamila says, if I ask for someone to do something for me, I want it done right there and then. My patience doesn't let me wait too long. Seems like you have the same problem that I often deal with, Jamila. So, anybody else want to say anything on the topic? You want to come up on a panel to say anything, or you want to put something else in the chat? Feel free to do so. I'm not planning to be here too long today, so I'm going to give a few minutes for anybody who may want to hit that link to talk about patience. And if you have something to, Bill said it all depends on the situation. If you have something to, a suggestion of how others can maybe work on their patience, something that may have helped you, feel free to share. Is I said what I said still here? I hear you, Jamila. I hear you. That's okay. I'll do it myself. Yeah, that's something that I'm working on. A lot of times when we um, say, never mind, I'll do it myself, it either takes up time that we really don't have, or it may affect us in different ways. Okay, I said what I said. I didn't know if you wanted to add to the topic. Hey, Real.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Uh, Good. Just tired. Been doing a lot, but I'm okay.
Okay. Well, that's what do you have to say about patience?
Well, I'm gonna be quick with this. So I know sometimes people say you need to work on patience, and sometimes you don't. But this is just my perspective on something. Someone can either take from it or not. But in being from a certain type of family and learning different things, working in different places, the armed forces, everything, you realize that sometimes patience can be a virtue, but patience can be destruction. And sometimes you have to weigh your options and use discernment because patience can have you waiting around, for something that's not even meant or will not even have a choice of being a factor inside your life. And then I'll give 3 quick examples where people will understand, like, oh, okay, I get it. That's why patience, can wear thin. You can be patient with someone, I guess, who is like, let's say that you're, we were all younger, we used to date. And then sometimes there's those people that, you're waiting around, you're hoping for something even more and for love. And they're telling you, no, okay, yeah, let's just see where this goes, And you're sitting around being patient, and all while that person has no intentions on being with you, on marrying, on doing anything because they want to play the fields or they like going to the clubs or whatever the case may be. Now, I've seen it around me with certain guys and girls where they would just, fill people's heads up with sweet nothings. So while you're sitting around trying to be patient on this person, you're wasting your time because your patience will amount to nothing. It amounts to nothing. Another example, I've seen it in certain jobs where they told people when I used to work inside the city, have patience, we'll let you grow. There's growth. And, you can be stuck inside of a certain position, it might be a good position, but if that manager or the CEO or the assistant manager of the region has no intentions on moving you up because you're doing great inside that area, your patience is having you wait around for years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, when certain higher ups have no intentions on elevating you. So then at that point, your patience is used for nothing, and it could be a waste when you could be, okay, you know what? I need to step out. I need growth. I want more. I need more. This is weighing on my conscience. This is too much work. This is too much, it's not going anywhere, but you're being patient just for a lie. And in other decisions, even if it comes to like certain things as wartime, okay, I'm going to be patient and see what this is going to do. I'm going to see what this is going to happen. When our adversaries, guess what? You're being patient and they have no intention on making any peace deals on, okay, let's share inside the crops of the land, the natural resources, while they all have a plan where it's not going to resolve to anything. So sometimes patience can just be a defeat, but you just have to use discernment on to see whether or not something can be patient for you or not. Now, this is not all decisions. This is not all scenarios. Patience is a virtue, but I just gave a few examples.
Okay. So you mentioned dating somebody and you're waiting on them to make a decision as to whether or not if this is what you want. And you also said something about when you're working and you're working hard in a position and they see that you're doing so well in the position, they don't want to move you up because you're doing such a good job. Um, and the other one, I didn't write it down, but what you use the word discernment, which is important as well. But what I was gathering from what you were saying is all about asking asking God, depending on Him, to lead you in the right direction and to give you discernment to know whether or not this person is for you, this job is for you, or you're talking about wartime. That's a heavy subject, so I don't even want to get into
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
but yeah, so I know what you're saying. But in all of those cases, a lot of times we lean on our own understanding, and um, we don't ask God to guide us in decisions. Sometimes we are in the same position at a job, or we're with that same person who doesn't have the same um, goals that we have, because we're not getting good counseling. We're, um, you said, we're sort of being patient, but we're not using wisdom, I would say, because after a certain amount of time, you can, matter of fact, you should establish in relationships, you should establish what you're looking for in a relationship so you don't waste your time. Because I think it's a difference between waiting patiently for something that's real, that you know is for you, than waiting on something just wishful thinking. So I think you
Mm.
made some good points, but I think it all comes down to
Right, correct. So I have a good question for you, right? So you
mhm,
said, with God wanting us to, lean and depend on Him and not our own understanding.
mhm.
Do you believe that God, yes, wants us to lean in on His understanding? Or do you believe at some times is God willing to step back to see what choices we are going to make in a certain decision to see if
I
we're
do.
ready? Oh, okay.
I do. God gives us all free will. So he's not I don't think that God is a bully. He's not going to make you do anything. So yeah, you can make bad decisions. He'll give you, he'll give you a way to see what you may um, be doing wrong. But if you just want to do things on your own, so be it. He's not going to force you to do what's right. Hey, Blaze, does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. And that's a very good answer that you've given me, because I know some people, they've contended with certain things that I've said. They're like, well, I don't pray and my life is grand and it's well. Like they may pray, but they don't, read the word, and they don't try to live a rightful way. But yet, of course, their life is, they're experiencing a life of grandeur and happiness and, funds and, exclusivity of where they live and, a great family life. So, someone contended with me on that, like, well, how can you say something about following this or following God when I'm not doing that and my life is, exceptional? And it was a good question that someone presented to me. But, sometimes, the who knows? The enemy can probably make you think everything is well so you won't have to call on God. And when it's snatched away, I have no idea, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Blaze, welcome. You said your
Definitely.
patient, yeah, your patience can run out. Hey, I said what I said. Real,
Hey
did you have
everybody.
anything else to say?
Hey, I said what I said.
Hey Real.
Did you have anything else to say, Real, before I go to I said what I
Mm-mm.
said?
Mm-mm. I'm
Okay.
done. I'm just listening now. I'm cool.
Okay. Hey, sis, you
Are you
there?
talking are you talking to
I'm
me?
talking to you.
Oh, okay. Hey, Alex. Glad you had patience enough to wait on me to finish doing what I was doing so that I could so that I can come up here, and I wanted to be patient and let Real get his thoughts out. So um that's one thing I've been trying to work on is patience because
Uh-huh.
I've always been a very impatient person. When I ask you to do something, I want you to do it right then and there and now. I don't want to wait till next week. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. And the only reason why I act like that is because if you ask me to do something, I do it right then and there.
Uh-huh.
even without listening well, and
But
may
I want to ask a
perhaps miss some
question.
steps. Yeah.
I want to ask a question for you and Real. Um, do you think that when it comes to being impatient, um, not to make this a men versus women thing, but do you think that women are more impatient than men, especially for the example of when you want something done and people don't do it right away, you just say, forget it, I'll do it myself. You think women are more like that, or do you think it's even, or do you think men are more like that?
Well, I feel like women are more impatient because
Okay.
we constantly ask our significant others to do things, and
Uh-huh.
and that's just far as your spouse or whatever type of relationship that you're in. A lot of times you ask them to do something, and they just take their own little sweet time by doing it.
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like it frustrates women, and we're very impatient when we're asking our significant others or either our children or really basically anybody. I just
Mm-hmm.
think that men have more patience than women do because men are more measured than women are, and everything is not so. Um, I'm not gonna say it's not that important to them because they do move when they want to when there's something involving them. I've noticed that, you know, in past relationships. If they want something, then they can move really, really fast.
Uh-huh.
Um, i.e., something about tires or something come out and they need to buy for their car or whatever. Or if they
Uh-huh.
friend call, they Johnny on the spot on that. But if you ask them to do something, then that's a different story. They're gonna take their time by doing it for you a lot of times. And not saying that
Right.
it happens 100% of the time,
Right.
but a lot of times they don't feel the urgency that we feel when we want them to do something for us. And that's just really been my experience with men. And it ain't just the spouse, it's the sons, the nephews, the
Uh-huh.
uncles, any
Yeah.
any male that has been in my life. None of them have ever moved fast enough for me.
It's crazy. I have two sons, and one is like that. He'll take his time, but my other son, I don't want to say which is which because they might be listening, and I don't want any competition between the two, but
Right.
they know who they are. The
Hmm.
other one, if I ask him to do something, he'll do it right away or definitely within a timely manner. The other one, he'll just take his time. The husband, I'm not even going to go. Not even going to talk
Methuselah's
about that
time.
one. So, real, what do you think men are more patient than women?
Um, y'all already know how my stance are, but this is one of the few times where I'm gonna have to honestly say that yes, I can agree with I said what I said due to standings of what I've seen long term that women can be a little bit more impatient than men, and I can give plenty of examples. So,
Well,
say for
real, it's
instance,
Yeah.
it's it's nothing wrong with you agreeing with me, real. It's okay.
no.
You act like it's the end of the world because we agree today.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I'm just
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah. I think I actually think that that's not even really opinion based. I really think it's a fact that men are more patient than women, especially when it comes to a lot of different things.
Yeah, like especially with marriage too. I've seen certain things where it's just like you know, if a man, let's say he's not doing certain things, right? Women can be a little bit impatient, like, you know what, I did this is not going the way I'm doing, but a man will kind of just be patient, like, you're my wife. Oh well, it is what it is, and they'll just kind of just be patient and nonchalant with things. Or, going to the doctors. You know, I was looking at this consensus of that more women go to the doctor versus the men. So it's like when, let's just say that something's wrong with a woman, she not gonna sit there and be patient to, oh, let me see if this just goes away or this is just gonna pass. they'll go to the doctors, and then certain men is just like, well, I'm a man, I'm strong, I don't have to go, and it's just like kind of like they kind of just become, they're patient with that, but that's the wrong kind of patience. Like they kind of wait it out. But women are like, nope, I got this lump, or I'm getting hot flashes, and I need to go get some medicine, something. So it's kind of like, that, or when a man doesn't do certain things, women can get very, what I call it, the embodiment of a spirit of an angry black woman, like, like I see Tyler Perry said something like that. So it's like, it's that, I don't know, maybe that motherly instinct that comes over, like, this needs to be done now. We got foresight of seeing what's happening. So while you're just kind of nonchalant, because a woman has gone through that stages of nature and nurture and taking care of kids, and they see certain things. Like, remember, they raise men and women as they grow up. They can foresee some of these things, and I think that's what causes the impatience, because they've been through it and they can see it before it's coming. Like, they're like, I already know what this is going to entail. Sometimes, not all the time. And
you see what Jamila said?
What she said?
She said, no examples. We know we're impatient.
Well, I think that women are really more proactive and men are more reactive. So that's the reason why we get impatient a lot of times, because just like you said, we know what the outcome is going to be when you wait too long for certain things. So there's the reason why that is one of the reasons why we have a sense of urgency when we want things done.
Right.
Also, I feel like our brains are wired a little faster than men, and it's not to put the men down, but as far as our thinking, the way that we think and the way that we operate and the way that we move, it's because we have children, like Real said, and we're female. We have to know how to juggle multiple things at one time. So when you're juggling a lot of different aspects in your life, and you're juggling the kids, you're juggling the home, sometimes you're juggling your job, and especially when it comes to, with your house, that's a whole nother level, because you have to make sure your house is clean. You got to cook, you got to keep the laundry done, you got to keep the kids in check. So yes, women are going to be a little bit more impatient because they have so many things on their plate, is what I feel like it is in some instances. It's not that we're trying to tell people what to do, or we're just impatient and just can't wait. I just feel like we have a sense of duty, and we have a lot of duties, and we're trying to knock the stuff off the list, is what I feel like.
Abril, you're right. She was talking to Millie. She says, Black women, we are often too many times portrayed as angry Black women.
Yeah, but I mean, I do understand the certain things that women go through, because a lot, especially with, inside the Black community, is put more on them. You know what I'm saying? And me, I kind of see things for what it is, and there's like an equal part of the responsibility, because we have to face it. Women raise the children to be a man or a woman, so we still have to keep that inside mind, where they will still have that part instilled inside them. And while the man is working, who do you think the child's going to be around the most times? So that way, when the male is doing certain things, as he, goes through the times of adolescence and growing up, that woman can see these certain aspects that happen. And it's like, okay, that's why they, oh, no, don't do this. Or I dealt with this with my husband, or I dealt with this child. They've been through it. But people seem to forget that they still raise a child. Like, you're raising a man to be another great man for another woman. Because half the time we have to just be honest with ourselves that in certain communities, it's like the father is not there. And if he is, it's like, it's kind of like a carefree thing. Like, I'm just going and work and make this money and blah, 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 blah. Like, not all, but we know what it is.
Yeah, definitely not all, because that's not my husband.
Yeah, not my household either.
Hey, Nesto Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Thank you for joining.
That was a mouthful.
I have some comments start, y'all. So I'm going to go back to those comments when we get towards the end of the live. Shay, catch up if you're behind. Okay, y'all can go ahead. I'm just looking at the
She says she is caught up.
I like what Shay said
Okay.
when
Oh,
somebody
I'm
tells
caught up.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, she says she's caught up now.
Okay.
So I wanted to real. I thought I was misunderstanding you, and maybe I am. So are you saying that women have too much to do? Women are just trying to raise men because their fathers may not be around, is what you're basically saying? I just want to make sure I'm getting the right understanding.
Yes, when those situations arise, whether they're inside jail or locked up, or the man may work a little bit too much, that's what ends up happening in the community. And and people want to deny it, but it's just like, where you get the whole saying of, oh well, men are not men like they used to. Well, with how certain, the nuclear family is not really as much as it should be. And when you do see a nuclear family, some people are so surprised, like, they act like they never seen nothing like that before. Like, it shocks them to see someone together with kids and walking in a family fashion. It's like shocking. So
I
that
think
right
that's
there,
stereotyping.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what people do. It's crazy. You know, like,
Well, I'm not that alarmed when I see a family.
Yeah, me either.
yeah, well,
I'm impressed, but I'm not alarmed.
I guess if you see that from like, if you're from the urban setting,
Hmm.
the urban setting, it surprises them. I mean, it can surprise them in, many different places, whether it be Philly, Jersey, Florida, New York. Like, it's just a little, odd to certain people, because, what is it, like 45%, are
Well,
single
I've been
moms.
in both settings. I've been in the urban setting and I've been in the country setting. So maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just kind of take people for for what it is, or
Yeah,
if I do see a family, and I'll just say, oh, great, a whole family is together. But normally I see families together. Especially on the weekends. Um, if there is a family. But you're absolutely right. It is a lot. I feel like a lot of men work a lot so that they don't have to be at home to take care of the responsibilities of the home, and they leave it up. It's incumbent on the woman to do it, whether she work or not. Because some women work and still come home and basically have to do everything at the house, plus go to work. So I feel like that's what make us impatient. But a
right.
lot of times your spouse will work a regular shift and then they'll work overtime. And I've had a spouse like that, and I felt like he was just working a lot. He worked overtime. He really he had two and a half jobs, and I felt like he was just doing that just so he wouldn't have to be at home.
I've heard that from certain, especially inside the
Because
Hispanic
the dollars and
community.
cents didn't add up. But
Yeah,
like if you work in two jobs, I can understand that. But then to add another job on the weekends, just to do extra work or what have you, to me, you're just you just don't want to do the hard work that's at the house. You just want to claim that you're at work all the time.
I mean, it's true. It's true. See, like, people have to understand, like, just because you get married and have a family and all that stuff, that doesn't mean that you have the mental capacity to stand there and be like a full-fledged mother or a full-fledged father. If that guy is just like, okay, I'm gonna make these babies and I'm gonna take care of them, that don't mean that his mental capacity is enough to deal with, like, the screaming, the crying, and this and that. Like, it take a special kind of man to, like, deal with that kind of stuff. So I've seen that a lot inside the workplace, where men kind of don't, it's just like, I don't care. I'm going to, work all these extra hours, and I'm going to just go and have a drink with the guys all the time. I'm playing my dominoes. I don't want to be around the. So you're right on that. I've seen that a lot. Seen it. Seen that.
Wow. Twice we've agreed today, real. That's we're gonna set a record here.
because I've seen it. Like, it's just like it has the truth be told. Like this is the things that we have to talk about because what we do is a lot of people follow like this narrative of what people want to hear versus what is the actual reality of things. Like it's just like, okay, can I be this way? Or I'm going to be myself or tell you what need to hear inside society. Like, oh, I'm a man, I'm, 6 feet and I make, six figures and, I got all these, accolades and all these degrees. Okay, that's nice to hear. Versus somebody like, what, screw this. Yeah, I have my degrees. I got my bachelor's. I'm an entrepreneur. It's like what needed.
Well, I was looking at the realms of preachers because they're notorious for that. They give their whole life to the congregation, but they lack their life at home. They don't give home to, in my opinion, because I've been there and done that. To me, they give more time to the church than they do their home life, and everything is
Right.
all about the church. And it's, in the home life, and the wife and the kids have to suffer at home because
Yeah.
the pastor have to go and check on everybody else, but he don't check on his own family.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it takes a strong woman to be a first lady.
Mm-hmm. I know. And then half the time you're doing all that for no reason, and then now you're checking on that, and then his attention goes elsewhere to some younger first lady inside the church just because you're not around your wife, and then now you're getting attention, and that's what kind of tends to happen. It just because they're around somebody else more than their own home, that attention. So I know what you're talking about. I've seen it, and it's just like the truth of the matter. It just is just the truth of the matter. Not all instances, though.
Hey, L. But shout out to the men who are taking care of their responsibilities, especially to the single fathers. Shout out to
Mm.
those men because they don't get enough accolades.
Right.
Right. I have a few cousins in my family that I'm very proud of, and they're young men. And normally, you don't see young men really taking care of their responsibilities as far as the kids go. Or
Mm-hmm.
and these days, times have really changed, and I don't know if times have changed so much or they haven't, because I do remember reading and watching other movies or what have you, and just knowing the history back in the day. If a woman and a man broke up, and the woman wanted to leave home in a lot of different states, and it may not been all across the United States, but I would use Aretha Franklin as an example. When her mom left the home, she couldn't take her kids with her. And in a lot of states in the South, you could leave home, but you couldn't take your children with you, so they
Yeah.
had to stay there with the father
By law,
by
even if it's
law. By
craziness,
law,
yeah, even
yeah,
if it was abusive and a
no matter
drunkard
what it
and
was.
everything. And see, how was that even right? No.
Right. But at the end of the day, things kind of turned around, the laws changed, and all the responsibility somehow fell upon the woman. So, like in the 60s and 70s, most fathers wasn't around. A lot of, not most, but it was a lot of fathers that was missing in action, right? In the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, it appears that fathers kind of left the home when the laws changed and they started allowing the women to take care of the kids. But now it's like the younger uh, what is it, Z or X or whatever it is now? What's the younger generation? Are they Z now?
I think that's
Uh,
Z.
is Z?
I,
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
Easy.
the younger generation now, and I've been seeing it just in my family dynamic. Little cousins and my nephew, and just and my son. They're actually kind of changing the game a little bit because now the women are back leaving the kids with the fathers, and I'm having to watch some of my family members raise their kids while the mother just lead a child. And so that was kind of foreign to me because when I was having kids in the 80s, it was a different story. The mother took care of the kids. And now the fathers are back taking care of the kids. So I I uh, I like that, and I wish they could stay together, but it's refreshing to see that the younger generation are is turning this around, so it's more fathers around than it used to be. And this
Mhm.
is men's mental health month, so I'm like Alice, shout out to the men that's really doing men stuff and that's taking care of their families, taking care of their children, and just doing the things that they're and just being responsible and being a man altogether.
Agreed, agreed. And the men, some men don't have a choice. They have to do that because there's a portion that is on this, hot girl summer, sexy red. How much money can I get from these dudes? And it's like they'll have children, but it's like they still want to go out and club. They still want to party. They want to go on these trips with their girlfriends and party up a storm and see who got the biggest bag and who gonna pay for this and give me my Brazilian. And it's like, but you still got kids. So not everybody's fit to be a mother. They're just not. So I get that too.
Shay says, shout out to her son. He's the best father she knows. I think maybe next to my son, Shay, because I think my son is the best father and he's real close to being the best husband, real close to my husband, and he is the best father. So shout out to your son and my son and all the other sons that are doing the right thing.
Exactly, because it's very refreshing to watch, to watch the younger generation, change the game up. I
Yeah,
do appreciate that, and I'm very proud of them for doing that.
yeah, me too.
Although my
Yeah,
kids had their
me too.
fathers in their lives, but in my opinion, their dads was there. They spent time with their dad, but their dads also took them to their grandmother's house. Okay, so they wasn't
Uh-huh.
really doing it by themselves. It's like
Hmm.
I'll spend a little time with you, but I'm gonna take you over there to my mama house and let my mama do it, and I'll come back and get you and take you somewhere, what have you. But ultimately, mama was that their mother was taking care of the kids versus them, and I just allowed it to go on because I never wanted to keep my kids from their father. So I didn't, I wanted them to make their own decision on how they want to feel about their own father. And so
Hmm.
I was never a bitter mother just because I wasn't in relationship with their father. I was never one of those moms that kept the kids away from the fathers. Matter of fact, I had their clothes packed a week before summer started when school was in. I couldn't wait for school to get out so I
I
could
know
send them to
that's
their
right.
dad's house. So and both of them really kind of, they actually thanked me for doing that because there's so many women use the kids as a, they use the kids as a punishment to the fathers, and you shouldn't do that. Just because you don't
Hmm.
make it with them, if you have a stable environment and your kids are going to be safe, why not allow your kids to spend time with their father? Just because your relationship didn't work out, that doesn't have anything to do with that kid. That child
Right.
still need to know their father if their father is willing to take them. And like I said, he have a pretty stable environment. And did I agree with everything that they did? No, no, I didn't. And as a mother, you feel like you can do a better job, what have you. But I still allowed them to go, you know,
Hmm.
and and spend time with their dad so that they would know their father.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I was talking about my son. He and his wife will be celebrating their 14th anniversary on Wednesday. So happy early anniversary to them.
Good. Yeah, I like stuff like that. When you got 15 years or more better with your significant other, that's a if you can make it last that long, congratulations and blessings.
Yeah. So I think both of y'all had some good feedback on the subject. And like I said, I didn't want to turn this to a male versus female thing, but I do want to acknowledge the men who are doing the right thing.
And do
It's,
and do.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
because Father's Day is Sunday. I
it
forgot
is.
about that. Yeah. So
Yeah, it
happy
is.
Father's Day to all of the fathers that's being a father.
Yeah. And may you get more than just a tie and the big piece of chicken this
Well,
year.
that's good enough for them. They expect
Thank you,
it
Shay.
anyway.
Get a trip to South America.
uh,
Fathers don't expect
I
too
ain't lying.
much. They know how it go.
oh, a pair of socks.
Yeah.
I'm going to do. I'm going. My husband's going to have a great Father's Day. This Father's
Put
Day.
some soap on a rope.
Stop.
So yeah, but shout out to the
Oh,
fathers though.
Shay is not right. She said her son isn't her father. He gets nothing.
Right. Not my daddy.
uh,
And my father wasn't a father, so he gets nothing.
uh-uh.
All he gets is a thank you for helping me get here. That's it.
Um,
Mhm.
so Blaze said, when you follow in the path of your father, you learn to walk like him. I was raised by my grandfather, and he filled that void for me. I'll always be grateful for the time and the lessons and the love. Great
Mhm.
for you, Blaze.
Mhm.
Good that you had that male figure in your life.
Yeah.
My grandfather too.
Because I feel like it's real important for kids to have some type of male figure in their life. And shout out to the granddads that took up for the dads, that took
Yeah.
their dad, that took their sons and son-in-laws places, and
Uh-huh.
showed the kids how to, how to maneuver through the world. Because, like we said, a lot of the fathers, especially the 80s and 90s fathers, I'm sorry, but they wasn't around too much. You didn't too much see them too
Mhm.
much. They was all doing what they needed to do, and so it's kind of turned back around now with the younger generation. So I I can't say how proud I am of them. And in my family, some of it is just breaking some generational curses also. So I'm very
I know
proud of
that's right.
yeah. So I'm very proud of a lot of the guys in my family.
It's 14 years, Jamila, unless you were talking to somebody else. So yeah, I'm very proud of these young men who are doing the right thing. And shout out to SBK. SBK and Girl Dad are
Hmm.
two
Oh,
fathers that
right.
seem to be doing an excellent job. So
Yeah.
shout out to both of them.
Yes. Shout out SPK and girls' dad.
Oh,
Oh, and Real take care of his
And
kids.
yeah,
Shout out to you too,
you too,
Real.
real.
I just, I'm just chilling. Yeah, I'm just chilling.
And I hope you get the big piece of chicken on Sunday.
Or at least a
Okay.
nice tie.
I want tube socks and the pinky ring. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what made me say that.
Yeah, I hope you get the big piece of chicken in your tie on Sunday, because
I
men like to
always
be
enjoy my
celebrated
Father's Day.
also. But I'm just gonna say this though, a lot of the men complain about not getting anything for Father's Day, but it's a lot of times it's hard to buy for men on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Right,
A lot of
right.
times you just don't know what to buy your father or your grandfather,
I don't even
whoever the
care.
father figure was in your family.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, like if I see certain women are doing certain things, that's like a gift in itself. Cause me, I don't know. I'm just a slightly different. I could care. I don't know if somebody gives me something or not. Just the sentimental thing counts too, even if it's a card or a thank you or something like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I guess it can be hard to get something for a man. So the best thing is just a card with a, maybe some money or a gift card or something. But some men, they just, you
Well, I
know.
just think they're not used to getting anything, so that's what make it hard for them to
Oh,
receive anything. So let
right.
them tell a story. They swear they don't get anything. So
Or they get something they don't want, like an ugly tie or a decanter whiskey set. It's like, what am I doing with this?
okay. So everybody buying their father something for Father's Day. Real done put it out there. Do not buy your father a tie. Do not give him a big piece of the chicken. And what else do your father not want? Real? What do a father not want for Father's Day? So y'all gonna have to come up with something else.
Yeah, and like wallets, like we appreciate it, but it's just like at the end of the day, it's just like we want something kind of like man cave-ish. Like, it's just like, okay, like an all-purpose this or something we can really, because it's like if a woman gives us a wallet, we actually have our true wallets that we really want, that we like our nice leatherback wallets that we want to choose. And a
Oh,
tie's okay,
oh, so
but
y'all don't like those wallets that the women pick out for y'all?
like you ever seen that you pick out the wallet and it kind of take them maybe 6 months to a year to actually use it? They're like, well, let me get use out of this one first. That's because they don't really like it, but they'll get to it. But men are not gonna say nothing like, I don't like this. We just gonna, it's a thought that counts.
Miss Boogie Down says a present father is not hard to shop for because you know what he likes.
Mm, right.
Well, my grandfather was a present father, but it was always hard to shop for him because
Yeah, sometimes you just
he was
don't
real
know.
low key. Some men are just low key, and
That
that's a true statement from Miss Boogie Down. But in a lot of instances, some men are very complicated because
Yeah, that's true.
a lot of
Yeah,
times they're just and not to talk about a man or anything, but sometimes some men are just plain Jane, and they don't want a lot. They don't, you know,
facts. I can
they
agree with that.
don't, yeah, they just don't want a lot, and it's not like a woman because a woman want everything.
Uh-huh.
So anything you get a woman is gonna be good for us, right? But men don't want everything like women do. And the
Yeah,
things
you're
that they
right.
do want, you may can't afford it.
Hmm.
Well, Shay said gas card coming.
See, that's something a man will probably like, because when the prices go up in certain tariffs, I mean, yeah, that'll be something. And something like you said, just don't care. It's just like, it's just peace of mind is fine. I can't speak for every man, but me, I'm just like,
Yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
care, like not even about birthdays or nothing. That's just me. I could care less about any holiday. You don't have to give me anything. That's
Well,
just me.
on Everybody Hate Chris, and I know it's a movie, but sometimes it's still an emulation of real life, right? And one year, Julius said he just wanted everybody to leave the house, like Rhea say, and just
Peace
let
of
him watch what
mind.
he want to on TV and let him have peace of mind. He just want a day off from being dad.
Right. Right. And it'd be
Hey,
like that.
Charlie's Angel. She said that or they've already bought it.
Yup. And you'll be having 2 or 3 inside your drawer somewhere. Like, woman, you don't pay attention.
Well, this is no shade to nobody, but I don't worry about Father's Day too much because I don't have to. So
Oh,
I'm not the one to tell you what to get for gifts. Well, it's
Well,
not
my,
your
my
fault.
father is deceased, but
um,
I still celebrate
condolences.
my husband.
And mine's is obsolete. Obsolete. So I don't worry about that either. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all, yeah, to each their own. Culturally, some people celebrate it and some people just don't. Like, some people is just like, eh, mm, I don't know what it is. Some people just don't. Like, if you don't adhere to any of the, Western stuff, you kind of just, but to each their own. It's still
so
nice for
so
some
let me
people.
ask you this, real. So if you didn't get anything for Father's Day, but you just got a day to yourself with peace and not have to worry about having any responsibility for that day, would that be a good enough present for you?
Of course, like I don't care. Like I'm not a materialistic person. Like I really don't care about, like I just don't. I could care less. It's just like another day. Like I'm just different. Like my mind is different towards it. It's just another day that you have to spend money on and this, because in my opinion, Father's Day and Mother's Day is every day. And then it's like
Yeah.
you could get your significant other
Mhm.
a gift anytime. Cause it's like, to me, it's just like,
And I understand that, but I'm just saying,
I'll get it.
Thanks, Blaze.
would you rather have peace or would you rather have a gift?
Peace.
Peace and not do anything.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm at peace most of the time at myself anyway. Like it's just like, like when you just block everything out, it's just like, and you just go on and let whatever something take the wheel.
Yeah, I
It's like,
wholeheartedly understand that.
yeah, it's just kind of just like, eh, you know. That's why, like, some people are like, oh, you don't want to come over live, and I see you got your favorite hats. I don't care. Like, my hats are my hats. I have a whole bunch, but I like my 2 or 3 favorite. Well, aren't you afraid that people gonna be like, oh, you wearing the same thing? I don't care. I don't care. I wear T-shirts or this or that. I got my business clothes and business suits, but I'm gonna come on live as being comfortable. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Blake say a day without responsibility sounds like heaven on earth to him. So I guess that, yeah, I guess that could be a gift for some men then.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah. Because peace of mind is one of the best, most serene, most heavenly things that you can have. Like, no content, no conviction, no anxiety, no self-defeating thoughts. When you have peace of mind, it's like that right there is the best gift that you can have besides money, besides, all these flashy things. When you have
Your
that,
your
you know.
connection.
Mm.
You there? Oh, he dropped down.
Yeah, he'll probably be back up.
You there?
Yes, I'm with you, Alice, but Real is
Oh,
not
maybe it's
here.
my connection.
Can you hear me?
Let me
Hello?
see. Oh, it says my connection is good.
Yeah, can you hear me though?
I can't hear you.
I guess you can't hear me, but I can hear you fine.
Yeah, you going out too.
Oh, okay.
Let me check. Yeah, my internet is good.
Mine just says it's good also, but and I can hear you just perfectly
Okay.
well. I'm not
Yeah,
having any issues
I
on
can hear
my
you
side.
now.
Yeah.
I hear you perfectly now.
Okay. Well, I heard you the whole entire time, and I heard Real the whole entire time. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know, what's going on with it or
Maybe
whatever.
mine was acting up for a minute.
Yeah. You know,
Thank you,
sometimes,
Shay.
um, it,
Huh?
sometimes the internet kind of get clogged up at a certain time of the day when everybody get
Hmm.
off work and everybody get online. So sometimes it can, you can experience a few technical difficulties at this time of day.
Okay, Miss Boogie Down. Thanks, Janice.
But yeah, but I didn't hear any issues from him at all. You know,
Oh, okay. Yeah, he
yeah.
was sounding robotic.
Oh no, I didn't hear that at all. He was clear.
Oh,
And like I said, it could be, your neighbor's milk came home and got on the grid with you on the internet.
well, should that be affecting my
It will, because you have the hub, and you have so many houses that are connected to that one hub. So sometimes at a certain time of the day, especially like when I was in the Metroplex,
mhm.
around 5 o'clock, and everybody get off and get on the internet, yeah, it will clog it up sometimes.
Oh,
Because all of you guys is kind of like
I get
a
it.
it's kind of like a panel, like
Yeah,
in
I'm thinking I get it now.
yeah, and so yeah, so
I
y'all
had a
keep
moment.
it. That's okay.
Okay, Jamila. She said she's cooking dinner
Yeah.
and listening. I don't feel like cooking today, but I should.
Mm,
I just don't.
yeah. Well, I don't have to. I made spaghetti yesterday, so I'll be eating spaghetti probably till Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I think I might make some spaghetti this week.
There you
So
go.
at least, yeah,
So you don't
that'll
have to
last a
cook.
couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can just go
yeah.
throw a big piece of chicken with it. Like tomorrow, I ate it yesterday and today, and so tomorrow I'll probably throw a piece of chicken with it. and a salad,
Well,
to kind of change it up a little bit. But yeah, I won't be cooking no more for probably the
I
end
eat
of the week.
spaghetti. Yeah, I eat spaghetti as a meal.
Yeah,
I don't
I
need.
did it as a meal too, but then after about the third day, you want to try to spice it up a little bit, do something different with it. Although, because
Uh-huh.
I'll get tired of it. I can only eat like today and yesterday is fine. Tomorrow I'll begrudgingly eat it. But after that, probably by Wednesday, I'm gonna have to throw some chicken with it or a salad or something. I'm gonna have to throw something else with it after that point.
Okay.
But I made a whole pot of it, and so it's a lot of it. So I have a lot more to go.
Okay. So Janice says Father's Day is still hard for her. She prays um, that we all find comfort in knowing that our dads that passed are resting in peace. Thank
Yeah.
you, Janice.
Yeah, and my
And
condolences to everybody, Father, that's not here, because
yeah,
I'm
my
sure.
my dad's been gone almost 9 years.
Yeah,
But I didn't grow up with my father. I only spent 22 years of my life with him.
yeah. Well, once again, like I said, my father's still here, but he's never acted like he's a father, so I act like I'm not a daughter. I just return the favor.
Wow.
Hmm. But I do appreciate him helping me get here. I do appreciate
Uh
him for
huh.
that. Yeah.
Hmm. Hey Gertrude, thank you for joining. Yep. So, do we have anything else we want to talk about when it comes to patience?
No, I had to be very patient this week because my air conditioner went back out again. I got it fixed
Oh
last week,
Lord.
a couple weeks ago, and it went back out again. But we did have a tornado
Uh
the
huh.
other day, and then we been kind of having hail for the last 3 days, I believe. It's been raining and hailing almost every day, and so I called the air conditioner man, and he took forever, and I had to be very patient. And I'm over here just baking.
Yeah, burning up.
Yeah, baking like on some cornbread or some biscuits or something. And then he comes over here, go out there to the panel, and just said the panel switch was off. You think I wasn't mad?
Wow.
Yeah, the panel on the outside. All I had to
Uh
do was
huh.
go check the switch, and I didn't know that I needed to go outside and check the switch. But you can rest
Uh
assured that's gonna be the first thing I check.
huh.
If it goes out again, that's gonna be the first thing I check. And then I have to apologize to the first air conditioner man because I was like, he just ripped me off. You know how we do.
Oh.
I paid all that money, and now my air conditioner back out, and he just ripped me off and blah. And that was not the case. That was not the case.
Well, who turned the switch off?
The weather did. We had tornadoes.
Oh, the switch automatically went off because of the weather.
Yeah.
I
What do
was
you
still,
call it? What do
even
you
though you
call
said
it?
the weather, I
Yeah.
was
What?
still thinking that somebody still turned it off, but I could see
No.
that
No.
can
It went
happen.
out. It kicked. What is it called? Where all your panels are? Where all your switches
Um,
that turn the electricity on. I keep forgetting what it's called. Uh,
is it the grid?
no, it's not the grid, but it's the main panel in your house.
Oh, you talking
But
about the
yeah, it's where all your switches are that
yeah,
turns your lights off and on. With the switch.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I actually have one outside too for my air conditioner, and I didn't realize
Okay.
that. Yeah, because the breaker. I have a
Yeah, the
breaker
breaker.
outside and I have a breaker inside. So I didn't realize that I had a breaker outside. Yeah, the breaker box,
Okay.
Charlie's Angels.
I
So
was about to say the whatchamacallit.
no, it's the breaker. But I didn't
Yeah.
realize that I had one outside,
Uh-huh.
that,
You
that
know now.
controls the air conditioner. Oh, yeah, you can rest assured I know now. So
See, you learn something new every day.
I definitely did. But I'm just mad because I sat here and baked like a can of biscuits every day for 4 days.
Mm.
And it cooled off at night. So I was kind of, cooling the house off, at night. But during the day, I was like, oh, well, I almost went over there and spent some time at the relative's house just to get under their air conditioner. And I was like, that's not right. I don't go over their house any other time, so I'm not going to use
Right.
them just to go use their air conditioner because that wouldn't be right. So I sat here and suffered. Maybe I
Wow.
sweat some few pounds off this weekend, but I'm telling you, I was burning up, baby. I was burning up.
Abril said the devil is a lie. Don't play with my air conditioning. That definitely will require patience.
Yeah. So I had some, Jamila. I think it stopped getting. I think it probably switched off because we started having bad weather Thursday, and that's really when the tornado hit our town, and that's when it clicked off. And so from Thursday all the way up until today, I've been burning up.
Oh.
But where I live at, it's only hot during the day because when the sun go down, it cools off. You know, it,
Uh-huh.
it was like in the 90s in the daytime, but here it'll cool off to like 80, 70, sometimes even 60 degrees because it's where I'm located at. And so we do have a lot of cool weather. So it was all good.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's
only
good.
burnt up probably about 3 hours out of the day because the morning is cool and the night is cool. It's only like, from probably about 2 to 5 is when I was really, about 2 to 6 or something like that is when I
Okay.
really was uncomfortable. But the rest of the time, I wasn't that uncomfortable. I was
Okay.
fine
So
with that.
you didn't need to go to the relative's house.
Well, I'm spoiled, so I thought I did. Because
Thank you.
even when I was a kid, I grew up with a water cooler, Alice. Where you go put the water on the outside.
Uh-huh.
I grew up with that, so I haven't lived that much of an uncomfortable life.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and that's what I call spoiled because some people didn't have an air conditioner back in the day, and we did. So, I say we were, that's a little spoiled.
right.
And you'll see that correlation when you watch that movie. Also, I thought about that too when I watched that movie this weekend. Straw.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to watch it sometime tonight.
Jamila, that's exactly what I did. I got in my car and used the air conditioner on my car. But the only thing about that is, once again, it spoil you a little bit more. So you sitting in that car and you all cool and when it got so hot and I just couldn't take it, I went and got in my car and sat in my car for about 20 minutes and cooled
Uh-huh.
off. But then when I came back in the house, it was even hotter. So I was like, I shouldn't do this either. But I pushed through. I pushed through. I pushed through. I made it. I didn't melt away. But it wasn't no comfortable thing though. I didn't enjoy it at all. And like I said, I kept calling that dude, and he was like, "Well, I'm kind of busy, and I'm gonna get to you Monday." And so I'm like, "Monday." I was like, "Oh
Mm.
Lord, I'm just gonna die."
And all the time you could have just gone outside
And
and
check
turned
the
that switch
switch.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And when he came up, he said, "Yeah, that's the first thing I check is the switch." And I'm like, when I called you, you could have told me to check the switch, but now
Uh-huh.
you decided you need to make this little hot $30 to come over
Uh-huh.
here and flip a switch for me, and you just stay a block up, so it's not like you even had to drive. He could have walked over to the
Wow.
house if he wanted
He
to, but it
probably
was,
said
huh?
he probably said that was the best $30 I ever made.
I'm telling you, to do he brought. It took him longer to bring him and his equipment out the truck than it did for him to come and turn that switch on.
Mm. Blake said I've never seen a tornado before and not interested in the experience. LOL. In California, I've been through a few earthquakes, and that was enough for me.
It's almost as devastating. You don't want to see a tornado, Blaze, because you can get whipped up in it, and a tornado will take a building from one place and put it somewhere else. So you right. You don't want to see a tornado. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. But it was on the opposite side of town. But even when you have a tornado, you still get those high winds, and that's probably what kicked my breaker off. And I don't know if it was the wind or just maybe some of the power lines because we did have power lines down in various areas of the city. So it's no fun. I've never been in an earthquake like that. I felt an earthquake when I was in the Metroplex, but it's nothing like the California earthquakes. They have real earthquakes. I call that a fake earthquake that we had in Irving, but I'm pretty sure California, because California earthquakes actually separate the earth, and the ones that I felt was just, the house was just rattling a little bit, and kind of made the table and stuff rattle, but nothing was really separated like it does in California.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I had to talk about today, Alice. I'm sorry that it took me a little time to come up here, but I was in the I was busy. I had to load some pictures up, but to try to get a new insurance company because
Okay.
I'm trying to trim all the fat around here with these bills and get ready for what's to come.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't like the fact that they're charging me so much money for insurance and stuff, and I'm not doing anything. It's not like I'm getting tickets or making claims or anything. My insurance is just going up. So I decided to do some research and find an insurance company that provide me insurance for all year versus 6 months, because every 6 months it's going up. So trying to get a steady price and a better price, and I actually was successful with it. So I'm proud of myself for that.
That's good.
It's gonna be real good, Alice. I'm gonna save almost $1,000 a year. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. That is wonderful. Hmm.
Yeah, God is good all the time.
Yeah, it is. That's a definite blessing.
Definitely is. But you shouldn't
Just
even
to,
have to do that though. It's just crazy, but it
yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, y'all. I'm praying for you, Jamila. Let me know
What
if there's anything I can do to help you.
what's going on with Jamila? I didn't see her.
Her AC and her car is out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, girl. I'm praying for you too. Thank God it's not hot, hot yet. I don't know. Is it hot,
Well,
hot
she
where you
said it
are?
was 92 degrees Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's kind of warm. And it kind of depends on what climate you're in too, though.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
92, yeah, because 92 here is not the same as 92 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we always get wind in where I'm located. It's always a breeze, but in Dallas it's humid. It's no wind. Houston and Dallas, you're gonna be sweating. It's no air at all. You barely can breathe.
Hmm. Yeah, I the best thing about heat to me is air conditioning. So
Hmm.
I feel bad. I pray for anybody who doesn't have air when it's real hot. I can't take it.
Well, I thought I couldn't take it out, but I had to. Sometimes you have to take it whether you want to or not. I can't. I thought I wasn't gonna make it and I couldn't take it, but I actually pushed through and kind of made it. But it wasn't no, it wasn't no piece of cake. Wasn't no cakewalk. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So Jamila,
Yeah,
I hope you can get your air conditioner fixed pretty soon,
me too.
sooner rather than later, because there's nothing worse than riding around in a hot car and the air is hot. And even if the air is hot, it's like a heater heating you. I've been there and done that one too. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
no fun.
Yeah, that's Shay says um get on the bus, but I'm not sure where you live, Jamila, where Jamila lives, but that may not even be an option.
Well, she said she ain't been on the bus in years. And I'm like, Jamila, I haven't been on the bus since I was like 18 or 17 or 18. So
Oh,
I
it
wouldn't
hasn't
even know
been
how to
that
ride the
long.
bus no more. Huh?
It hasn't been that long for me, but it's been some years.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. I've been having a car all this time. So I probably wouldn't even know how to ride the bus. And I think I probably forgot about it. On how to even do the bus system, and they've
Uh,
changed everything, so I definitely would need a tutorial on how to ride the bus now.
just follow somebody.
Right, Jamila, I understand that. That's why come I sit there and waited on that man, because I had already paid a payment for my air conditioner the first time, so I was like, I'm finna go, uh, get the man that used to do it back in the day, but and still doing it on the side, and that's exactly what I did. So now I'm good. I got good food air, so it's I'm gonna be happy for the small things we take for granted.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be thankful for the little things.
Yeah. So she said she's trying to find someone that's not going to charge her rent to fix the
Hmm.
AC.
Yeah, because that's basically what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One thing you can do, Jamila, girl, I need your email address. I tell you what, I'm gonna text it to Alice, and maybe she got it. I'm gonna tell you how to get around that. I won't say it on live, but there's a way for you not have to pay for that, Jamila. If you can wait a month or two. I don't know if you can wait a month or two, but you can work it out.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call you in a minute, Alice, and tell you how to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'll
tell you
figure
what my
out.
I'm gonna tell you what my cousin had did, because I got some cousins that can do some things and get things done. You be like, you can do that, huh? Okay, and it's legal, it's legal.
Jamila had to ask.
Janice, I know home insurance won't pay for it, but I know somebody that will do it after 30
Hmm.
good days.
Janice wants to know.
Janice, I can't say it online. You
She
never
can't
know.
say it on it. She can't say it
Yeah,
on this channel. I take
no,
her word for it.
no. I'll have to do it behind the scenes, Mama.
Yeah, she can. Oh, you know what? Um, I can. This is how we can get the information to Jamila. Jamila, can you join the panel before I end the live? Join the panel before I end the live. And well, you don't even have to join the panel. Just hit the link before I end the live. And I said what I said can get you that information once I end the live. Janice, if you want to know, you have to
Hit
do
the
the same
live.
thing.
Hit that like, baby.
But hopefully it's legit and it will help. It will help you. So did you have anything else you wanted to add? I said what I said.
No, basically, I've said everything. I've made all
Okay.
my points and complaints.
Okay.
And yeah,
So
I,
let
I,
me
I just put it, yeah, if they come up, that's fine. I just put it in the back chat. And it may be another company.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow.
Yeah, they will.
Wow.
Well, sometimes you look, listen, Linda. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do now, Miss Alice.
Uh, okay.
They
All
look.
righty.
The mother folks do it all the time. If you
I'm
can't
sure
beat
they
them, you
do.
might as well join them.
Let me read these comments before I end. So did I read this already? Let me see. Blaze says my grandfather was a patient man, so it's a trait that he instilled in me growing up. I remember we would run scenarios to test and strengthen my patience, and over the years, those lessons stuck. Good for you. He said, but of course, there's times where I will slip up and patience goes out the window.
Don't be so hard on
Shay
yourself,
said,
Blaze. That's just being human.
yeah, it is. Shay said, I just like when someone calls you impatient when they're just as impatient. Shaking my head. Janice says, everything I deal with is time consuming. So time crunch kicks in and being impatient is a result. I think I read this, but I'm going to read it again. Miss Boogie Down says, my now ex-husband was a very hands-on dad and is a great dad. Blaze says, absolutely. Much love and respect to the Black fathers out here who are living examples. Keep showing for yourselves and your children. So that's it for the highlighted comments, the start comments. Janice said her AC is working. Okay. So
Okay, well, I'll put up the information in the back chat for you.
Okay. So
I'm gonna go ahead and drop down, Alice.
Okay, so if anybody wants to know what I said had to say, you can hit the link, and once I end the live, I'll bring you up, and then you can read the private chat. So let me go down the list to see who joined the live today. First of all, let me say thank you to everyone who was in the bushes and did not come into the chat. Thank you for your support as always. I'm going to go over YouTube. I said what I said. I'm going to call the names of those who aren't moderators. I'll do the moderators last. So thanks, Hudat. Thanks, Sharon Reed. Thanks, Shadow, SBK, Jamila. Thank you, Jamila. El Cid, Key, Miss Boogie Down, Jackson Tabasco, Blaze, Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame, L's Endeavors, Charlie's Angel, and Gertrude's Band Life. And my moderators, thank you so much. Blue, Abril, Janice. I said what I said. Brill and Shay. And Senna is not here. And Shanice is not here. But I want to give a shout out to them as well. And Precious G. And so I believe that's it. Thanks, Real. And I said what I said for joining the panel. I believe that's it, y'all. I see you, Jamila. I'll bring you up once I end the live. So remember that God loves you even more than I do. And I really do love you all. Thanks again for joining the live. And for those who are watching the replay, please leave a comment once you have watched the live. It helps with the algorithm. I appreciate that so much. And thank you for the Cash Apps. I appreciate that so much. So once I play us out, well, I'm going to play this real quick, y'all, because a lot of people like when I play this. So I'm going to play it, and then I'll play the outro.